Welcome to Get Started with Oracle Machine Learning Fundamentals on Oracle Autonomous Database Workshop. This workshop is designed to help new users to get familiar with Oracle Machine Learning technologies on Oracle Autonomous Database. In this demo, you will learn how to access OML Notebook and define paragraphs using the Markdown, SQL, PL/SQL, Python, and R interpreters, work with notebook features, create paragraph dependencies and run paragraphs as per dependency order, create and compare notebook versions, create and run an AutoML UI experiment, deploy OML model and view the model with deployed metadata and REST endpoint, create and view the generated notebook and individual paragraphs. With that, let's get started. Once you have provisioned your sandbox environment and you have logged into OML UI, you will be brought to this OML UI homepage. And now let's go ahead and access OML Notebook. You can access the Notebooks page from left navigation menu here. Under Project, you can click on Notebooks, or even under Quick Actions here on the home page, you can click on Notebooks here as well. Now here, first we will create a notebook. We will give the name as test notebook. We will leave comments field blank and click on OK. This has taken us to the editor page, edit page for test notebook. We will go back to the main notebooks main page, and here we will select this checkbox. And as you can see, all these different features and options got enabled now. We will look into each one of this one by one. Before we start working on this, just to give some background, Oracle Machine Learning Notebooks is a web-based interface that supports notebook creation and versioning. You can document work using Markdown and run SQL or Python code for data exploration, visualization, and preparation, and machine learning model building, model evaluation, and deployment. OML notebooks also provide Conda interpreter to create custom Conda environment. Now let's start looking into these features. First one, we will click on edit. Here you can edit the name of the notebook, also add any comments. You can delete the notebook, duplicate the notebook. Once you click on duplicate, it creates a copy of the notebook, and the duplicate copy is listed on the notebooks page. Save as template. Here you can, once you enter the name, you can also define the location of the template to save it in personal or shared under templates. You can import the notebook, also export the notebook. Some of the formats that are supported for exporting the notebook are Native, Jupyter, and Zeppelin. To create versions of a notebook, we will go ahead and click on this version. This takes us to the versions page of test notebook. Here, I'll go and again click on version button. Here, once you enter the name and description, if you want, then once you click on OK, you will be able to create the version for this particular notebook. We have a separate task for this where we'll be creating versions, different versions, and also comparing different versions. So we will look into those details once we go to that task. All right, now we will go back to the notebooks page. We have already created this notebook. Now let's go and open the notebook, test notebook. Okay, now here we can use this test notebook to create a Markdown paragraph, SQL paragraph, Python, R, and Conda paragraphs. So this by default, a blank paragraph gets added when the notebook, we go to the edit version. And here you see different buttons to add paragraph for different languages. We will be using this as we start executing the code. Now here one point to mention, an interpreter is a plugin that allows you to use the specific data processing language backend. To use the interpreters, you must use the directives at the beginning of the paragraph of the notebook. So you can change the interpreter by explicitly specifying one like %script, %python, %r. For example, let me type here %r. So this is the interpreter you need to run first before running our code. And once I click run here, we will be starting this particular interpreter. Now, let's say I want to start SQL interpreter. I will just change it to SQL and I'll start running or start this particular interpreter. Like that, I can also change it for Python if I want to run Python code, right? So this is how you can switch between connectors and connect to the respective, the required connector. All right, now we will first start with Markdown interpreter. So for that, I will type here %md. So this is the interpreter for Markdown. And now to format the text in bold, we will type the word hello world inside double asterisk pair. And to format the text in italics, we will type the word hello world or we'll put the text inside the asterisk pair and an underscore pair. So let me quickly get that text. Now I will run this. One point to mention here, the first time a given interpreter is accessed, the interpreter is started, which may take a few seconds to initialize and establish a connection to the database. Subsequent uses of the interpreter in later paragraphs will be immediate. Yeah, we see the output already in the output section of the paragraph. First word, hello word, is displayed in bold and the later two words are in italics. Now we will go to the lower border of the paragraph and we will click on this button, add MD paragraph, markdown paragraph. Now here we will display the text in bulleted list format, and for that we will put an asterisk to the text, hello world, we welcome you. So let me get that text. Yeah. Now again, we will add one more paragraph. I go again to the lower border of the paragraph and I'll click on add paragraph, MD paragraph. Here we will use markdown tags to display the text in heading 1, heading 2 and heading 3 format. So for that, we will put the text with 1 hash, double hash and 3 hash here. And now we will go to the this run all paragraphs button and click on it. It asks for a confirmation message. We confirm it. We see the output already here for the second paragraph. The text is displayed in bulleted format. And for the third paragraph here, text is displayed in heading 1, heading 2 and heading 3 format. Now we will continue further and we will start with a SQL interpreter and run SQL statements. For that, I will go again to the lower border of this paragraph and I'll click on this button, add SQL paragraph. SQL paragraph got added and SQL interpreter is added by default. Now we will be running a query, SQL query, to fetch data from countries table. All right, now let's go ahead and run this. As I mentioned earlier, it may take a few seconds. Oh, this is quickly run, so it takes some time to start the interpreter. Now we see here the output in tabular form or countries table content here, countries table which is in SS schema. We can click this even in different charts here. We will click on bar chart hovering over these different bars, we can see the details here. You can adjust the settings and visual output by clicking on this settings button here. Now this opens settings dialog and we are already in setup tab here. To customize the output, we can add here country's region ID in series to show. So let's do that. Here you see a series got added here in the display, and in group by we can add country name. So even country name got added to the display. To further customize it, we will go here to customization tab, click on visualization, and we can display it in horizontal layout instead of vertical. Yeah, we see the output got updated. Now we will start using a PL SQL interpreter and run PL SQL scripts. For that, again, we will go to the lower border of the paragraph and click on this button, add script paragraph. Okay, now here we will create a table and also we will run the script which will create a table, and also we will enter some data in that table. So let me put it here. All right, here we see small table is getting created. First, we are creating the table and then we are adding 100 rows in this small table. I will go ahead and run this. PL SQL procedure successfully completed. Now we will start working on Python interpreter and run some Python statements. We will go to the bottom here of the paragraph and we will click on this button, add Python paragraph. Python interpreter is already added there. And now we will be using zshow method and fetch data from a table. Yeah, so this zshow method will get the data and display the data from supplementary demographics table, which is in SX scheme. Let's run this. Yeah, we see all the content in supplementary demographics table here. So you can use the show command to display Python objects, proxy object content, and to display desired data in the notebook. Now we will start with working on R interpreter and R statements. For that, we will go here and click on this add R paragraph button. So R interpreter is added here. Now first we will run or we will import the R libraries. So for that, we will run this code. This is successful run. Now we will go and create a data set. For that, again, we will add one paragraph, R paragraph, and put the code here. And run this. So we are creating here this iris data set. Code got executed. Now we will add another paragraph here, and we will select now. We will run a SQL query here. So for that, I will just change the interpreter and I will add here select star from iris data set. So now we are going to run SQL statement. Yeah, now this shows all the content of iris data set. All right. Now we will look into different features of this notebook as well as paragraph level features. We will start with first notebook level features here, and then we will go to the paragraph. The very first one here is run paragraph. So this run all paragraphs in the notebook. This is invalidate session. This will hide code. So once I click on this, you will see the code gets hidden. Once I click on it again, we can see the code again. Like that, you can hide result. You can enable read-only mode. And this one is, it will show the settings panel on the right side. So once I click on it, you see the settings panel here. And the setting panel, which was there here at paragraph level, will get hidden. So once I close this, you see here, it appears here in the paragraph. So once you just click this, it will open the settings panel on the right side, and the settings will get hidden at the paragraph level. Versioning, once I click on it, here you can create version and view version history. We have a separate task for this where we'll be creating version. So we will look into this more in detail once we go to that task. Here you can clear the result, clear paragraph dependencies. So we will execute a task where we'll be creating or defining dependencies between paragraphs. So dependent paragraph gets executed after the original paragraph, and here you are able to clear that dependencies. You can export the notebook. You can choose how you want to export the notebook. You can exclude code or exclude result, exclude timestamps, and also export type, native, Jupyter, Zeppelin, HTML. You can choose from these formats. You can print the notebook and also save it as PDF. Here you are able to set the database service levels and parallelism for query processing. And this one, you're able to switch between layouts, notebook layout, Zeppelin, and Jupyter. So these are the features for which are at notebook level. Let's go and look into paragraph level different features. So here the first one, run paragraph. It will run the particular paragraph. Here, enter dependency mode. So this is where once you click on it, you are able to define the dependencies between paragraph. And with this, you are able to clear paragraph dependencies. You can add comments, expand the paragraph. You can add lines and numbers to the, you can add numbers to the code. Here, this is to manage the visibility. And once we click on settings, here multiple options are there. Move the paragraph up, move the paragraph down, run all the paragraphs above, run all the paragraphs below, clear the result, clone paragraph. So once you clone it, the paragraph gets displayed in the notebook. Disable run and delete paragraph. All these different options are there at paragraph level. All right. Now we will start working on create paragraph dependencies and run paragraphs as per dependency order. To do that, first, let's go back to the notebook page. Here we will create one more notebook here. So for that, let me click on create. I will give the name. Let me enter the name here. Yeah, so paragraph dependencies demo. This is the notebook we are creating. Comment, I'll leave it blank and click on OK. Yeah, now this has opened the notebook editor. I will go and click on this add script paragraph here. We are going to add scripts here. Let me go ahead and get the code that I want to add here. We will add one more paragraph here, and put the code and one more last paragraph. I will explain the code, what these different paragraphs are doing. This is the last paragraph we will add here in this particular notebook. All right. So the first paragraph here, this is we are creating or replacing a view from sales table, which is in SS schema. Then here we are selecting the count from this view that we are creating in the first paragraph. And then here we are selecting only first 10 rows from this view that we created in the first paragraph. Now I'll go to the first, in order to define the or enter the dependency mode, I'll go to the first paragraph here and click on this enter dependency mode, this button. Now I will click on second and third paragraph and add them as dependents of paragraph 1. So here the order of paragraph dependency is based on the order of your click. I'll go ahead and save this. Once the dependent paragraphs are defined and saved, it is indicated by the numbers as shown here. Now I'll go to the first paragraph and I'll click on run. After the first paragraph starts successfully, the subsequent dependent paragraph starts to run according to the order of dependency. As I had mentioned, first time when the interpreter is started, here appears SQL interpreter. It may take a few moments and then the dependent paragraphs will get run. Yeah. So here paragraph, paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 are already successfully run. We see here the count and also first 10 rows are displayed. All right, now we will start working on creating notebook versions. For that, we will go and we will first create version 1 and we will go to the main notebooks page. Here, what we are going to do, we are going to use paragraph dependencies demo notebook as this is a prerequisite, and we are going to create 2 versions of this paragraph dependencies demo notebook. So let's start creating the first version. For that, I will select this checkbox and I'll click on versions here. This opens the version page for paragraph dependencies demo notebook. I'll click on version button and I'll give the name version 1. I'll leave description blank and I'll click on OK. So we have created the version 1. Now let's click on back to notebooks. Now we are going to create the second version for paragraph dependencies demo notebook. So for that, I will click on this notebook, demo notebook here. And we will go to the editor page. We have already added this paragraph. Now I'll go to the lower end of this paragraph and add one more paragraph to add a script. PL SQL script. Here now we are going to add a script to build machine learning model. So let me quickly get that code. Yeah, this is the code that will build a machine learning model using ESM algorithm. And now we want to save this as version 2. So I'll click on versioning. And here you see 2 options, create version and view version history. We will click on create version. Version 2, this name appears by default and we will retain this default name and we will click on create. Here we see the confirmation message version 2 created. So we have created version 1 and version 2. Now we are going to see the version history. For that, again, we will click on versioning button here and click view version history. This opens the version history panel here. Let me click on one of the version, and here there's different buttons: delete, compare version, and restore are uh, they are enabled. Now we will click here open version icon to open the selected version. One point to mention here, clicking on any version notebook opens the notebook in read only mode, as version notebook are non-editable. So let's go ahead and open it. As you can see, this is read only mode. To view this in current version format, we will click here. So this is version 2. And now again, we will go and view version history. I select on version 2 and click compare versions. Here now version 2 is the current state and we are going to compare it with version 1. So from this drop down, I will select version 1. And as we scroll down here, the new additions are highlighted in green. So this is the code that we added in version 2 that will build the machine learning model. And this here on the left, we see 3 paragraphs which were part of version 1. And here, apart from these 3 paragraphs, we also added this code to build the machine learning model. All right, now this ends our notebook related task. We will now start working on creating AutoML experiment, editing the experiment settings, and view and deploy OML models. For that, I'll click on this navigation menu, and here under projects, I'll click on AutoML experiments. Before we actually start creating the AutoML experiment, just a few points here. It is in this case, you just have to specify the data and the target in the experiment, and the tool will do the rest. However, you can adjust some settings such as number of top models to select and specific algorithms. With a few clicks, you can also generate editable starter notebooks, and you can build on these generated notebooks to apply your own domain expertise to augment the solution. So let's start. Click on create here. Experiment here, it is a work unit that contains the definition of data source. Then here the prediction target, prediction type, and all optional settings here. After an experiment runs successfully, it presents you the machine learning models in a leaderboard, and you can select any model for deployment or use it to create a notebook based on the selected model. When creating an experiment, you must define the data source and the target of the experiment. So let's start working on it. First, we will give the name here. We'll select customer 360. Comment field, we will leave it blank. Click on data source. We will select schema OML user and customer 360 table from this list of tables and click on OK. For predict type, from this drop-down list, we will select affinity card. So this is the target for your prediction. The prediction type field, this is automatically selected based on the field data type. So in this case, this classification is automatically selected. So classification is for non-numeric data type. It is selected by default, and regression for numeric data type. Regression is selected by default. Case ID, this field is optional. We will leave it blank. Now let's click on additional settings. Here, maximum top models. We will click on the down arrow and set it to 3. So this is the maximum number of top models to create. The default is 5. Fewer models build result in less time and the experiment will complete sooner. Maximum run duration. So this is the maximum time for which the experiment will be allowed to run. We will retain the default entry 8. Database service level. Here, this is the database connection service level and query parallelism level. Default is low. I'll select this to high. Model metric, we will leave it as it is and even leave the default algorithms all selected. Here under model name handling, create unique names for each run. I will select this. So this option generates model names that are unique, and selecting this option also gives you the choice to select or deselect the option drop models from the previous run. So this option drop models from the previous run, once it's selected, it will drop the models that were generated in the prior experiment runs. And we will select both of this for this experiment. Now we will scroll up, and here under start, you see two options, faster results and better accuracy. Faster results, we will, once you select this option, if you want to get the candidate model sooner, possibly at the expense of accuracy, and this option works with a smaller set of pipeline combinations and hence yields the faster results. Better accuracy, select this option if you want more pipeline combinations to be tried for possibly more accurate models. And pipeline is defined as an algorithm selected data feature set and set of algorithm hyperparameters. For this experiment, we will select faster results and I'll click on it. Now, when experiment starts running, the status is displayed in a progress bar. So it will take a few moments and we will see the progress bar here. Yeah. Now currently you can see here status as running. Once all the experiment is completed, the status will get updated to completed. You can stop this experiment also, and then you can edit all the attributes what we have just inserted. You can modify that, and again you can start running the experiment. Here you see the leaderboard. This is where the top recommended models will be displayed, and we can see the algorithms already. Naive and neural network and support vector machine. We will execute this even different tasks here: deploy, rename, create notebook, and metrics. Once the status gets updated to complete. Yeah, here for naive base, we see the model link is already updated. For neural network also, it will just take a few seconds and this particular experiment should get updated to completed. Here at the bottom, you also see different features that were used in this prediction model. All right, now the status is changed to completed, and now we will start looking into the results or results of this experiment. First, we will go and check the metrics. For that, I will click on this one of these recommended models. I'll click on this row for naive base. You have to click on the row, not on the model name. And here you see all these different options now are getting highlighted. We will click on metrics. We can select here different metrics, accuracy, ROC, and those metrics will also get displayed here in the leaderboard. Once I click close here, yeah, the leaderboard display got updated. Now we will go ahead and rename the model name. So for that, we will again, I'll just select the row and we will click on rename. Yeah. Now we will give the name, I'll type the name here. I'll click on OK. We see the message here, model rename, and also model name got updated here. Now we will click on this model name and we will look into the model details. This opens this model detail dialog and we see here prediction impacts. Prediction impact, this is displays the importance of attributes in terms of target prediction of the models. Here, once I hover over each of these attribute, you see the values here. Here, customer marital status has the highest impact on the target prediction. You can also look into confusion metrics here. All right, now we will go ahead and deploy this model. So again, this row is already selected and I'll click on deploy. The name is included here by default. We will retain the name as it is. And in URI field, we will enter for version, I will enter 1.0 namespace. We will enter demo. Our namespace field is case sensitive. Comment, we will leave it blank and we will click share. So this allows users with access to the database schema to view and deploy the model. And then I'll click OK. Here we got the message model deployed. Now we will view Oracle machine learning models with deployed metadata and REST endpoint. For that, we will click here again on the navigation menu and click on models. This takes us to model page and we will go to deployments. This is the model that we just deployed. We selected shared version 1.0, the namespace, who is the owner and deployed date and also URI. So now first we will view the metadata of the deployed model and click on this model name. This opens this model metadata for NB customer 360. All the model metadata is listed here. And now to view the entire JSON of REST endpoint, we will click on this URI NB customer 360. All the details of the deployed models are listed here in OpenAPI specification. We can scroll down to see all the details. These are all endpoint related details here. Okay, now we will create a notebook for one of the model. And for that, again, we will click on navigation menu here, click on AutoML experiments and customer 360. We will select this row, a naive base, and I will click on create notebook. So one thing here before I walk you through creating a notebook, you can create notebooks based on the top models produced in the experiment. This provides you the code to build the model with the same settings for the selected model. This option is helpful if you want to use the code to recreate a similar machine learning model. So that's where you can use that code again. So let's click on create notebook. Here there is notebook customer 360. This is the one is added here. This gets default, like this is the default name. We will retain the default name and we will click on OK. message is displayed here that notebook is created. Now we will view the generated notebook and individual paragraphs. To do that, again, we will click on navigation menu and go to notebooks. Customer 360 NB, this is the notebook that we just created. We'll click on that. Now, before we look into each of this paragraph and the code that is contained here, first let's go and change the database service level here. I'll set it to medium. Here we get the confirmation that notebook type is updated to medium. And now let's go and click on run paragraphs. We confirm the message to run all the paragraphs in the notebook. I'll walk you through all the paragraphs here once the execution is complete. Yeah. Now, the very first paragraph, Oracle Machine Learning AutoML UI experiment generated notebook. So this displays this contains all the experiment metadata. So experiment name, customer 360, workspace is here, prediction type, classification, predict, affinity card. This was the target for prediction, and algorithm. All details we can see here. The next paragraph, get proxy object for selected data. This contains the code to get proxy object for the data used in the experiment, which is customer 360 table. So here we see all the data. Now in the next paragraph, prepare training data. So here this contains the code to prepare the training data. Next paragraph, title build model. This contains the code to build the model. And in this lab, we have like build naive Bayes model. Show model details. This contains the code to view the model details. Algorithm name, a mining function, target is affinity card. Now here data scoring. This contains the code to score the data. And show model quality metric. This contains the code to view the model quality metric. All right, now this concludes our workshop for machine learning in Oracle Autonomous Database. And thank you so much for joining me.